Yeah, is the PPT visible? If not,
Yes, ma'am.
all right, all right. So today we are going to begin with the topic that is numismatic art. Okay. So when I talk about numismatic art, basically we are going to refer to the coins. Okay. So first of all, what do you mean by numismatic? Just a second. Parijita is joining. All right. Yeah. Yes. So beginning with, what do you mean by numismatic? So numismatics, basically it means the study of the coins. So it includes analysis of the material which is used in order to make the coins, identification of the sources of metals which are used to make the coins, then classification and the study of coins on the basis of their size, their shape, their design, their weight, the message that is there on the coin. So that is called as, I'll just admit all of them. Yes, all right. So today we are going to study about the numismatic art. Okay. So numismatic art, it refers to the art which is depicted on the Indian coins. So first of all, what do you mean by numismatic? Numismatic basically means the study of the coins. So it includes analysis of the material which is used to make the coins, identification of the sources of the metals which are used in making of the coins, and classification and the study of the coins on the basis of the shapes of the coins, on the basis of their weight, the legends, the message which is written on them, their design, their weight. All this help us to study about the coins. Okay, so that the study of the coins is basically called as numismatic. Now, the lecture is specifically on numismatic art. So when I say numismatic art, it refers to the art which is there on the coins. So when we talk about the coins, coins are basically the indicative of the artistic skills of that period. So various artistic expressions are represented on the coins. So when we see the coins, we find the different things like the portrait of the kings, we find the images of different deities, religious symbols, we find legend. Legend basically means anything which is written on the coin. Anything written, it means that the language and the script. Sometimes we also find the introduction of the calligraphy on the coins, especially when we see the medieval India coins. And then we even see some secular symbols. So numismatic art refers to the study of the art which is depicted on the coins. Okay, so all this is depicted on the coins, and that help us to know about the different aspects associated with the coins. Now, the next important thing which we will be understanding now, what is the use of coins in studying history? What is the different information that can be extracted by studying the coins? Okay, so the topic is coins as the sources of history. Now, first of all, when we see the coins, different things, different symbols and all are being depicted on the coins, and the metals which is used to make the coins and all this help us to trace some or the other aspect of the history. For example, the very first thing, dynastic history. So coins help us to know about the genealogy of the kings. They help us to know about the dynastic history of a particular dynasty. Like for example, if you want to study about the post-modern coins, the dynastic history of the post-modern period, the Indo-Greek coins, the Shaka coins, the Shaka history, everything is solely and wholly dependent on the coins. So whatever information we have about the Indo-Greeks, whatever information we have about the Shakas and Kushans, majority of the information, the dynastic history of the post-modern period is basically traced with the help of the coins. So coins help us to know about the dynastic history, the genealogy. Second thing, it helps us to know about the extent of the rule. Now the distribution of the coins, okay, so wherever the coins are distributed, they help us to trace कि extent कितना है rule का. So if you find coins in the Gandhara region of a particular dynasty, we come to know that कि this dynasty ruled over the Gandhara region. So extent of the rule of a particular dynasty can also be studied with the help of the coins. Third thing which we come to know from the coins are the economic history. So when we talk about economic history, when we talk about the Gupta period, we see that the metallic purity of the Gupta coins is very good. We see that more number of gold coins are being issued during the Gupta period. So this talks about the economic prosperity of that period. So circulation of the coin it's a very important indication of the trade and commerce, the economic prosperity. All this will come to know from the coins. And even we see that in the post Gupta period, the number of coins kept on declining. So that is suggestive of the financial crisis in the post Gupta period. So in this way, the monetary history or the economic history of a particular period can be known with the help of the coins of that period. Then the next thing which we can come to know from the coins are the trends of religion. Coins depict many religious symbols. So that help us to know about the religion of the issuing dynasty. Like for example, when we see about the Kushan coins. So Kushan coins contain the deities of like not only Indian deities, but they also include the Mesopotamian deities, Sumerian deities. So all this is a representative of, you can say, a religious tolerance attitude or a secular approach of the Kushan kings. So trend of religion, like in the Gupta period, mainly we find Hindu deities being depicted. So that highlights the revivalism of Hinduism. So trends of religion can also be known from the coins. Next thing, artistic skills. Okay, so coins are indicative of artistic expressions of that period, and this is actually the artistic skills is basically known as the numismatic art. Then we can know about the technology. So coins depict the technological advancement. Coins are basically the excellent products of metallurgy. So the way they purify the metal and all, and the way the coins are made, the purity of the coins, it's indication of the technological advancement of that period. Even on the coins, we see the different weapons being depicted. So that also suggests the defense system or the weapon system of that time. Then the outlook of the kings. So different images, like for example, in the Shatavana coins, we see the depiction of ships. So we come to know that the kings were basically lovers of navigation, or they might have patronized maritime trade. So outlook of the kings also we can come to know from the coins. Okay, even if we see that key on the Kushan coins, as I mentioned, different deities were depicted. So that depicts a secular approach of that kings. Then the weight system, like a particular dynasty, when they issue a coin, usually the coins of a particular dynasty, they follow a standardized weight system. So we come to know about the weight system of that particular dynasty by studying the coins. Then languages and script. As I mentioned that these coins contain legend. Legend means a written thing. So from that we come to know the languages used during that time, the languages patronized by the issuing dynasty, and the prevalent script of that time. And the last one, coins are the indication of chronology. So coins help us to study history in a chronological form. So in this way, coins serve as one of the most important archaeological sources of studying history. So if there is a question in mains, the use of coins as a source of history, you need to throw light on this 10 aspects of coins as a sources of history, and wherever possible, try to give examples. Okay, so now the next part which we are going to begin is, today we are mainly going to focus on the history of Indian coinage with respect to ancient India. So we are going to study from beginning what type of coins that were used, and we are going to also study about the art, that is the coins ke upar kya art forms the, all that we are going to cover now. So the very first thing, look, as we all know, the ancient history begins with the Stone Age. So Stone Age, for this we do not, so during this period basically the trade that was conducted, so Paleolithic mein as such there was nothing, Mesolithic mein bhi nahi tha, Neolithic mein settled life of a man started. So during the Neolithic period, when the settled life of a man started, at that time he started engaging into exchange of products, and at that time the very basic form of exchange system that was used was the barter system. After Stone Age, we proceed towards the Chalcolithic culture. So Chalcolithic period is a period at that time Along with the stone tools, copper was used. So we all know that the copper is the first metal to be discovered by man. So it is the period during which copper and stone tools together were used. Here also Chalcolithic people, they conducted trade, but again it was barter system only. Next, coming to Indus Valley civilization. Now we all know that the IVC, Harappan civilization, was the first urban civilization of South Asia, and we see a traits of extensive trade network. And it was not only an internal trade, but it was also an external trade with Mesopotamian civilization. And here also the trade was based on the barter system. So Stone Age, Chalcolithic culture, Harappans, we find trade being done, and that was with the help of the barter system. Coming to the Vedic period. Now, as we all know that we divide Vedic period into two categories, early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. Now, when I talk about the Rig Vedic period or the later Vedic period, society was like Aryans had come to India. They had come from Central Asia to India. And it is said that, like we all know, there is an Aryan invasion theory. They massacred the people of Harappan civilization and they started the Vedic culture. Now, these Aryans were the nomadic people. And in the early Vedic period, the economy was pastoral economy. Okay, so it was a pastoral economy where trade was not done extensively. So we do find mention of certain words in Rig Veda like Nishka, Nishka Griva. So this is associated with some form of gold ornaments. In many books, you will read that Nishka was a coin of early Vedic period. But this is not possible only because we all know that in the early Vedic period, Aryans were nomadic people. They were pastoralists. Agriculture, they didn't start. Why? Because they just from Central Asia, they migrated to India. And in the early Vedic period, they settled in the Sapta Sindhu basin. So they just came, they just settled in India. They were nomadic people, they were pastoralists. So here even though we find the names like Nishka or Nishka Griva, we find the name Hiranyapinda, all these are related to something related to gold globules, that is biscuits of gold. But it is very much difficult to consider this as the full-fledged coins because, as I mentioned, that taking into consideration the tribal nature of the society, these cannot be termed as coins. Okay, so Nishka, Nishka Griva, Hiranyapinda, these are like basically, as I mentioned, gold. Hiranyapinda is basically gold globules, like a mass of a gold, and Nishka Griva with the gold ornaments. And up till now, see, such things are very much dicey things. इसके लिए UPSC में up till now there has been not a single question that Nishka was a Rig Vedic period का coin. ये question आए नहीं because this is a topic of debate because archaeologists, historians, they are not able to establish the fact that whether this could be considered as the full-fledged coins. Why? Because I said that the society was a tribal society. We do not find as such a state being formed, a particular ruling dynasty or state being formed. So taking into consideration that aspects, these could not be considered as the full-fledged coins. Then in the later Vedic period, we see that development of like a tribal society into proto-state. So when I say proto-state, it is not again a full-fledged state. It is a nature of a state which is more than a tribal society and less than a state. So such a nature of a society is called as a proto-state. So the later Vedic period, it is a representative of a proto-state. So in the later Vedic text, we find the reference of the words like Nishka again, Suvarna, Shatamana, Pada. All these are called by the archaeologists or by the historians as the metal pieces of definite weight. But again, this could not be necessarily considered to be full-fledged coins. And we do not have very supporting text also or very supporting evidence to suggest that these were the full-fledged coins. Okay, so these are associated with the metal pieces of a definite weight. So this is the initial history of the Indian coins. Like coming to the next part, like the next period is the period from where we find the definite attributes of the coins emerging in India, and that is the post-Vedic period. So post-Vedic period to Mauryan period, when we talk about this period, this is the first definite period for which we have supporting archaeological and literary evidences of a beginning of the Indian coinage in the Indian subcontinent. So we can say that the definite attribution of the beginning of the Indian coinage, it begins from 6th to 5th century BCE. And why definite? Because this is in context of the emergence of states. Why? Because if we all know that this period, post-Vedic period, it's a period of Mahajanpads, and this is called as the period of second urbanization, emergence of states है, second urbanization period है, and expanding trade network है. So as a result, for this period, we have this period marks the beginning of the definite coinage in the Indian subcontinent, and this continues up to the Mauryan period. The coins of this period are called as punch marked coins. Okay, so the oldest coins which are found in the Indian subcontinent are the punch mark coins, and they are mainly made up of silver. So majority of the coins are made up of silver, and we even find the evidences of copper coins, but copper coins are less as compared to the silver coins. Now these coins are called as the punch mark coins because of the manufacturing technique. So mostly these coins, they were made up of symbols. They were made up of silver, and they bear symbols, and each of this symbol was punched on the coin. So there is a coin, एक piece of a metal है, उसके ऊपर आप symbols को separately punch कर रहे हो with the help of a die. So such coins are called as punched mark coins. So coins mainly made up of silver, they bear symbols, and each of the symbol was punched on the piece of a metal on the coin with a separate die or with a separate punch. So taking into consideration this method, the coins of this period are called as punch mark coins. When we talk about their shapes, usually they are rectangular in shape. We also find square and round coins also, and they are made by cutting a piece of a metal sheet. Usually the coins are of irregular shape. We do not find a proper regular shape, even if you find the rectangular shape, and also it is cut from one corner, and also we do not find a proper shape, irregular in shape. And this period is classified into two phases. So first I mentioned the first one, which is attributed to the Mahajanpads, and the second one, it is attributed to the Mauryan period. So the punch mark coins, they started from the post-Vedic period, that is from the Mahajanpad period. They continued up to the Mauryan period. And when I talk about the symbols on these coins, so mostly the symbols are related to the attributes of nature. So like we find sun ka symbol, animal motif, trees hai, hills hai, some geometrical symbols. So this symbolic representation is found on the coins of this period. Okay, so these are the coins of the earliest punch mark coins, or the coins of the Mahajanpad era. Okay, then these are the symbols. So as I mentioned, these are the punch mark coins where the symbols are punched on the coin. So there are two sides of the coin. One is the obverse, that is the front side, and reverse, that is the back side. So this is the first coin depicting 7 symbols on the obverse side. Then 5 symbols hai. Again, one coin display 5 symbols hai. So each symbol is punched on the piece of a metal. So such coins are called as the punched mark coins. Okay. Now let's move to the next period, and that is the period of post-Mauryan age. Okay, so post-Mauryan age, say we see that we all know that after the decline of the Mauryan period, many foreign dynasties entered into India. The first one being the Greeks. So we had Greeks, Shakas, Parthians or Pahalvas, and finally Kushans entering into India. So under the post-Mauryan age, we are going to first study about Indo-Greek coins. Okay, so these are the die struck, again punched mark coins only, die struck coins, Indo-Greek coins of from 2nd century BCE onwards. Now, in order to understand what are the peculiar features of these coins, so first of all, they are very well executed, very well made, usually round in shape, and mostly we find silver coins, mostly silver here, few copper coins. So majority of the coins are the silver coins only. Here, the coins depict Hellenistic tradition, that is Greek influence hai coins ke upar. So we find the depiction of the Greek gods and goddesses. So that is there. Apart from that, we also find the portraits of the issuer. So remember that these coins are the first coins which contains the portrait of the issuer and the name of the issuer. So up till now, like the Mauryan period ke coins hai, we find the natural symbols and all. We don't find the portrait of the issuing king. We do not find the name of the issuing king. So as a result, we cannot definitely say that this coin was issued by this particular king. But when it comes to the Indo-Greek coins, these coins contain the portrait of the king. There is a legend mentioning the name of the king, and as a result, we can definitely say that this particular coin is issued by a particular king. So then bear the name of the coin and the portrait of the issuing king on the obverse side. Then, like for example, we have coins of Menander and Strato. Now, there are series of coins of Menander and Strato. So if you see the chronology of the coins and all, we will understand that at the beginning, there are coins depicting them in the youthful age, that is in the teenager. Then we have the coins in their old age also. So this indicates that we have a chronology of coins from the beginning, from the youthful age of that king to the old age. It means that the king ruled for a very long period. Long reign of the king is being depicted, indicated from such depictions. And the reverse side bears the different symbols of the deities. Apart from that, Indo-Greek coins are bilingual coins. So bilingual coins, so that is the on the front side, we find that the name of the issuer is written in the Greek. Okay, so the name of the king. So his portrait is there and the name is written in Greek. And when you see the reverse side, it's written in the Prakrit language, and usually script uses Kharoshthi. We do not find the use of Brahmi script. So Kharoshthi script is the script which is written like a Urdu language from right to left. Okay, so these are the different attributes of the Indo-Greek coins. So there can be a separate short note on the coins of the post-Mauryan period. So very well executed, usually round in shape. Mostly we find the silver coins dominated. Then Hellenistic tradition, Hellenistic influence is seen because of the depiction of the Greek gods and goddesses. Then, as I mentioned, that the first coins with the definite name of the king. So we can definitely say who issued it. And bilingual coins, on the front side, the language Greek is used, and on the reverse side, we find Prakrit being used, and script is Kharoshthi. Okay. Then after Greeks, the next one to come in India were Shakas, and after Shakas we had Parthians. So Shakas and Parthians, they followed the basic features of the coins that were issued by Indo-Greeks. So यहाँ से वो practice चालू हो गया to issue the portrait of the king and the name of the king. So that continued under Shakas and Parthians also. Next, coming to cushions. Now, cushion coins are very important because cushions were the first one to issue gold coins on a very large scale, on a very large number. It is said that the Greeks also issued few gold coins, but then there were very few. Cushions are the first one to issue large number of gold coins. यहाँ पे हमें silver coins rare दिखने को मिलते हैं because the majority of the coins are the gold coins. The earliest coin of the Kushan dynasty, they are attributed to the Vima Cadphises. Like if you will study in the history that Kushans ruled in two dynasties. One is the house of Cadphises and the second one is the house of Kaniksha. So Cadphises, there are two kings, Cadphises 1 and Cadphises 2. So Vima Cadphises, uska first initial coin is there. Now Kushan coins, they depict iconography drawn from Greek, Mesopotamian, Zoroastrian, that is Sumerian, and Indian mythology. So different gods, different deities are being depicted. Not only Indian deities, but we also find Greek deities, Mesopotamian, Sumerian. So that represents the religious tolerance outlook. Now, let us see a few of their coins. So these are the Indo-Greek coins. So you can see over here the portrait of the king and the legend being written. So first is the front side, which depicts the portrait of the king, and then it's a reverse side with some depiction of a horse and legend being written. So such coins are the first coins with the depiction of the king and his name. Then Shaka coin. Now, one Shaka coin is very famous in history, and this is basically a silver coin issued by a Shaka king, Azilis. So Azilis was the famous Shaka king who issued this coin. Now, this coin is the coin of Gajalakshmi. Now, imagine that these people were foreigners. They came to India. They became an integral part of the Indian society. They assimilated, integrated into Indian society, and they accepted Indian religion also. So here you can see on the Shaka coin depiction of Gajalakshmi. So Gajalakshmi is a representation of Lakshmi with an elephant. Okay, so with an elephant, it's a depiction of Lakshmi, and this is considered to be one of the finest aspects of goddess Lakshmi. So Gajalakshmi, it is depicted as Lakshmi, which is surrounded by two elephants, and these elephants are pouring water from their trunk on goddess Lakshmi. Okay, and in Hindu mythology, we see that ki goddess Lakshmi is very much revered goddess, and so we find that on many coins Lakshmi is being depicted. Not only Shaka coins, इसके आगे के जो भी coins आते हैं, especially Gupta के जितने भी coins हैं उसमें we find the depiction of goddess Lakshmi, because Lakshmi is a representation of prosperity, fortune, good luck, abundance, and as a result Lakshmi is mainly depicted on Indian coins. So the first trend of depiction of goddess Lakshmi we find in the Shaka coin issued by Shaka king of Gandhara, Azilis. Okay, so this is Gajalakshmi coin, which we need to remember. Now coming to the cushion coins. So as I mentioned that cushions silver coins are very rare. We find mainly the gold coins of cushions. Okay, so this is one of the cushion coin. In the first phase, that is in the front phase, it is depicting a king which is holding a spear, and on one of his hand there is some fire altar at the left, and uska jo reverse side hai, it's a solar deity. Okay, so it's a Helios, it's a solar deity. Okay, then coming to the next one, this is the depiction of Buddha. Now we all know Kaniksha. Kaniksha is considered to be one of the biggest patronizer of Buddhism. He convened the fourth Buddhist council, right? So as a result, we find over here, this is typically a coin issued by Kaniksha, and uske jo reverse side pe, we see Buddha is there in Abhay Mudra. Abhay matlab jiska bhai nahi hai. No fear, have no fear. Okay, so Abhay Mudra mein Buddha is being depicted. Then this is yet another coin. Yeah, so this coin is a representation. Iska jo reverse side hai, this is depiction of Shiva, and Shiva ke piche there is a Nandi bull being depicted. Okay, so in this way we find that ki cushion ke jo coins mein we see variety. Ek हमने देखा Greek god Helios है, दूसरे में हम बुद्धा देख रहे हैं, तीसरे में हम शिवा देख रहे हैं. Okay, so this is the variety being depicted in the cushion coins, and see the artistic skills and all being depicted on the coins. So on small coins, so much of representation is being done, and so much of information can be retained by studying these coins. Okay, so this is all about the post-Mauryan period. So up till now we have seen the coins like from the beginning till post-Mauryan, it's done. Now we are going to move on the next dynasty, that is the Shatavahanas. So after Mauryan period, we had Shungas, but they are not significant. They rule for a very short span. After Shungas, we have Kanvas coming to power again for 45. They rule for just for 45 years. And then we have Shatavahanas. The Shatavahana dynasty is very important. There can be an exclusive question on Shatavahana coins. Okay, so what can we infer from the coins of the Shatavahana dynasty? So we'll begin with the Shatavahanas. So coins of the Shatavahana dynasty, they are excavated from Deccan area, Western India, Vidarbha, Western and Eastern Ghats. So as I told you in the first slide, we saw that this helps us to know about the extent of the dynasty. So जहाँ पे coins मिले हैं, वहाँ से हमें पता चलता है कि the kingdom expanded, the rule expanded in these areas. Majority of the coins were die struck. Apart from that, so die struck, same, which we studied the punch mark coins. Piece of a metal is there, उसके ऊपर आप punch die से you are depicting the symbols. We even find the cast coins. Cast coins, that is metal casting se jo banaye jate hain the coins, those coins. Okay, so we find even those coins being used. Then now during this time we find the different metals being used to make the coins. So we have silver, copper, lead, and poteen. Poteen is an alloy of silver. So all these coins we see in the Shatavahana Empire. We find gold coins. Majority of the coins are silver, copper, lead, and poteen. And remember that lead and poteen coins we do not find in any other dynasty. So this is a peculiarity of Shatavahanas. Then we find over here that the Dravidian language is being depicted. Now, if you see the Shatavahana ka rule, it's in Karnataka area, so where Kannada language prospered, Telangana mein Telugu language aata hai. So Dravidian languages aapko milte hain on the coins, and Brahmi script being used. Okay, and the coins are portrait coins because they followed the trend of the Indo-Greek. So Indo-Greek shakhas, cushions. This trend is getting continued. That depiction of the portrait of a king. Then one of the coin, as I mentioned, that depicts ship. So this highlights the importance of maritime trade. Then in many coins, we find the names Satkarni, Pulayami. So the names of the kings are there. And coins are of different shapes. So round shape is there, square shape is there, rectangular shape is there. Now we'll study about the specific symbols which are there on the Shatavahana coins. Okay, so there are many symbols which are there on Shatavahana coins. These symbols help us to know about the different aspects of the kings. Okay, so the very first symbol which we find is arched hill, or a hill like a symbol. Some historians interpret this as a Chaitya symbol. So Shatavahanas, they patronize Buddhism, and during this period we find that different Buddhist Chaityas and viharas being constructed, the famous one being the Karle Chaitya. So we find that Chaitya symbol is there. So this depicts their patronization of Buddhism. Second, we find chakra being depicted. So wheel is there either with 8 spokes or with 12 spokes. So 12 spokes wala jo wheel hai, it is found on the coin of Vaishishtiputra Pulayami, whereas jo Satkarni one hai, uske coin pe we see that wheel with 8 spokes. Now chakra ke alag alag meanings hai. Probably some historians represent it with sun, because Shatavahana, Shatavahana सात मतलब 7, वाहना मतलब chariot. So ये जो sun का जो horse chariot होता था, driven by the 7 horses. So Shatavahanas, they used to interpret their solar affiliation. Okay, Shatavahana being the representative of the sun's chariot. So that is connected over here. This could be attributed to the sun, or it could be attributed to the Dharma Chakra Pravartana. So we all know it's a turning of the sacred wheel of law in Buddhism. So 2 interpretations could be taken from this. Either it is association with the sun, solar deity, or with the Dharma Chakra Pravartana. Then conch shell. So conch, if you know that wo shankh jo hota hai, it's considered to be sacred in Hinduism. So that is being depicted on the coins of Gautamiputra Satkarni, and this is usually also attributed to Vishnu. Then we have lotus. So it's a very rare symbol on the coins. We find a lotus being depicted, and lotus is usually a symbol which is there in Hinduism and also in Buddhism. So that is depicted. Then moon is also there. So moon represents a deity, solar deity, and majority of the world, they rely on lunar calendar. So taking into consideration the importance of the lunar deity, moon is being depicted. Then Nandipad is there. So this is a very unique symbol. We find Nandipad, and Nandipad is associated usually with Shiva, Shaivism. Then we have depiction of ship. So as I mentioned, we have coins of Pulayami and Yajnashri Satkarni depicting ship or a fleet of ships. So this indicates some sort of maritime activities being carried out. Okay, and is time ka jo text bhi hai, it corroborates this. Like we have the text of Ptolemy, text of Periplus, that talk about the contact, the trade and commerce of Shatavahanas with the other foreign dynasties, West Asia and all. So this is you can say evidence which supports the fact that maritime activities were being carried out. Then we have solar symbol. Solar, we taking into consideration the importance of sun, and as I mentioned that Shatavahanas attributed their origin to the solar deity, and also in Naneghat inscription of Queen Naganika, she also begins with the salutation to the sun. So taking into consideration all these aspects of importance of sun, solar symbol is depicted in many coins. Then swastik, the swastik is considered to be one of the most auspicious marks, and swastik is usually associated with peace, prosperity and happiness. And this is not restricted to Hinduism. It is being adopted by other religious cults also. So that is there, that is depicted. And taurine. So taurine symbol, it represents the zodiac sign Taurus. Okay. So all this are the, you can say, symbols which are depicted on the Shatavana coins. So if there is an exclusive question on Shatavana coins, all this information, if you will impart on in the examination, it's more than enough. The initial basic aspects of the coins, and then you can throw light on the different symbols, and you can mention what is the different interpretation of these symbols. Okay, so let us have a look over the coins. So these are the different coins. So first coin represents chakra symbol. Second, it's a hill or chaitya. Third, एक ऐसा quarter moon है. Fourth one, Triratna symbol. So Triratna symbol, it is associated with Buddhism. Triratnas is also there in Jainism. It is also there in Buddhism. In Buddhism, they call it as Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. These are the three Ratnas of Buddhism. Buddha, Dhamma, and Dhamma, that is the Ashoka's Dhamma, that is being followed here also, and Sangha, Buddhist Sangha. So that is represented over here, three Ratna symbol. Then we have yet another. First coin depicts sun, solar symbol. Then you can see swastik is there. Then Taurus ka symbol hai, and ship is there. Then we also find animal motifs. So bull is being depicted, horse is being depicted, elephant is being depicted, and lion is there. So these are the Shatavahana period ke coins. Okay. Now let us move towards the Gupta age coins. So Gupta coins, Gupta ke gold coins are called as dinars. And when we talk about the Gupta period, so Gupta period is called as a golden age of Indian culture, and it is considered to be one of the most prosperous period of Indian history. So here we find that the coins are like literally, this is the peak phase of the representation of the coins, and these are known for their artistic excellence. So we find that on the front side, on the obverse side, we find the depiction of the king, and on the reverse side, we find the depiction of goddess, and usually goddess Lakshmi, Durga, that is Hindu deities are being depicted. Okay, so let's begin with the Samudra Gupta ka coins. So there can be a separate question on the Gupta coinage, numismatic art of Gupta. So Samudra Gupta ki coins first we'll study. So we'll classify them depending upon their representation, artistic representation. So first are standard coins. Standard coins are basically the standard coins just depicting Samudra Gupta wearing a cap like thing with the Garuda Dhwaja, that is the flag. That's it. These coins are called as the standard coins, and unke reverse side pe hum dekhte hain goddess Lakshmi being depicted. Second coins we find archer type coins. So archer type coins, this for the first time they're introduced in Indian numismatic, portraying Samudra Gupta holding a bow. Then battle axe type. So battle axe type, that is all the weapons are being depicted like battle axe, bow, swords, all these are depicted. Then we have Lichavi type coin. So we all know that the Chandragupta I, he married Lichavi princess Kumari Devi. So Samudragupta was their son, and he was very proud of their association. So it is said that to commemorate their father's marriage with Kumara Devi, or to mark a respect in the memory of their parents, Samudragupta issued Lichavi type of coins. Okay, so bearing the image of Chandragupta I and Kumari Devi of the Lichavi family. Then we have Kacha type coin. So Kacha type, it bears the legend Kacha. Kacha means having conquered the mother earth, winning of the heaven,